When was the first time you realized you were Black?
That's deep. The first time I realized I was Black was K-5. I went to a predominantly white school and I felt different.
There was a birthday party with one of our neighbors and their children, and when I went to the birthday party, I was denied entry. I came back to my house and my parents asked why didn't I go into the birthday party, and apparently I said, someone said I was too dark.
When I saw my father having different experiences than my brother and I had based on me having a lighter skin tone than him.
First time I realized I was Black was as a young girl in ballet class where you wear pink tights. We all were in a lineup doing a little dance, and one girl turned to me and said, "Oh, a perfect line of pink, all but one."
Freshman year in college, just came from Ethiopia, and I was walking around and every Black person was saying hi to me and nodding their head at me, and I had no idea why. And I asked a friend of mine, I said, why are these people that I don't know saying hi to me? And he looked at me and he said, because you're Black.
Black History Month to me is a celebration.
It's a celebration.
Celebration.
A celebration.
A celebration.
Confirmation that if my ancestors could make it through all the struggles and the challenges that they went through, then so can I.
Essentially the time when we all celebrate our Blackness.
It's a time to reflect on how far we've come. From slavery, from Jim Crow, from all those things of the past to where we are today and where we want to go on to the future.
I mean, I would hope that Black History Month wasn't necessary in 50 years, meaning that Black history was just a part of American history. It was just an equal portion of that narrative.
I feel like we'll celebrate it in the same way, with just new accomplishments under our belt. More recent than not, Barack Obama, he's in the history books, will definitely be a big topic of Black History Month 50 years from now.
I hope Black History Month 50 years from now continues to look back on how far we've come and certainly look ahead in terms of how much further we must go.
I consider myself the definition of African American. I'm African because my parents were born in Africa. I'm American because I'm a first-generation Ethiopian American, raised as an Ethiopian in America.
I am an African born in America.
I consider myself Black American.
I consider myself Black. We can't trace our roots back, but I do consider myself African American too. So.
Jamaican.
I would say I'm Black before I'm African American, mainly due to the fact that my parents, grandparents were born in America, so none of us can really speak on Africa, so Black.
First we were Negroes, then we were considered African Americans. I basically consider myself Black.
I consider myself both African American and Black. I also consider myself very mixed. I come from a background of Jamaican ancestry, so all of the above.
It would definitely be Charles Hamilton Houston. He was the founder of Howard Law School. He was the mentor to Thurgood Marshall, and he was the architect behind the strategy that gave us Brown v. Board of Education.
Nelson Mandela.
It's Nelson Mandela. I admire what he did. He was nonviolent. He believed in something. He remained calm, and he accomplished a lot. His word meant so much to so many.
Barack Obama. My grandma never thought she would live to see a Black president, and I think just his presence and all that he did, it really lets a lot of people know that they can do or be anything they want to be.
Obama, clearly.
Martin Luther King Jr.
Have to be Malcolm X.
I'd have dinner with Marcus Garvey. He's a Jamaican brother. His plan in the early 1900s was to take all the Africans out of the diaspora back to Africa. It was the Back to Africa movement.
I want to party with will.i.am. I don't know if I want to have dinner with him.
Barbara Gardner Proctor. She was the first African American woman to own and operate an advertising agency.
Howard, unquestionably Howard.
Morehouse College.
Clark Atlanta University, of course.
So there's no question about who's the real HU. Kwesi would say otherwise.
Howard University.
But it is Hampton University.
My favorite Black athlete would be Michael Jordan, Space Jam.
Can I say LeBron James? He's like really very Black, and I love love that about him.
Serena Williams.
Jack Johnson, boxer, heavyweight champ in the early 1900s. Completely did not care what people thought of him. Drove fast cars, dated white women, pissed everybody off.
Usain Bolt.
Muhammad Ali.
Brian McKnight.
Of all time, Kanye West.
Anita Baker. Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Bob Marley.
I love Miriam Makeba.
I love Miguel. Miguel is he just speaks to my soul. But then also Migos, because there's nothing like a good beat.
To me, what it means to be black is just knowing yourself, knowing where you come from, knowing the history behind your skin.
Being black means to be proud of your culture, to have a shared experience with other people like you. It's more than just a skin color, it's really just a feeling.
The state of Black America is one crying out in desperation. We have struggled a long time to have a voice and a space in this nation, so we are still working towards that.
The state of Black America is more than likely undereducated. For years, Black Americans have deliberately been undereducated by public schools, by consumer groups, by the community leaders, by politicians.
So as an optimist, I definitely think the glass is half full and not half empty. I think we've made a lot of progress. I think there's much, much further to go. But in many respects, I think we've exceeded even our wildest imagination. So I'm really excited about the future.
I think is really on the up and up. More and more black children are growing up being proud, and I think that's really a great thing.
I think today, Black America is slowly but surely being recognized for all of the contributions we've made over the past 200, 300 years here in the United States.
It's tricky. On the news, it's portrayed differently than I feel like me and a lot of my family and friends are.
I'm gonna answer that as a mother of a 20-year-old, and I would say it's terrifying. Sometimes it's hard to let him go. I find comfort in working at a place like GMMB, where we have been part of history. We helped elect Obama, Doug Wilder, Nelson Mandela, so I know that, even though the struggle is real, that we can overcome.